brain slews, slick with ectoplasmic juice.
Ecstatic energy, a fire that fuels our memory.
With genealogy, with spiritual topography.
Questions for your answers, we are data necromancers.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 69. Dude, what are we going to do for episode 69? It's episode 40, by the way. I don't remember what camera to look at.
I guess one of us could be standing on our head and one of us can be standing up. We can do a stand-up 69. Not with contact.
I was like, yo.
We don't love each other in that way.
That just does. I don't think I love anybody in that way. I don't want to. No offense.
Stand up 69?
I don't want to stand. Sounds like work.
Not even on your head?
I don't know how to stand on my head.
I'll teach you.
Do you know how to stand on your head?
Yeah, I need support from my elbows and hands.
Dude, Murphy looks so uncomfortable right now. He's like, this is where I want to be.
Are you sure this is good for you, bud?
He's just shoving his face into the microphone.
Where do you want to be? Lick the code.
Yum.
What a treat to be alive today. I feel absolutely ecstatic. Yesterday I was a bit of a sleepy lord. I was asleep on my estate most of the day.
You know what it's like to show up at your house and you have a salad ready for me? It was so fucking good. I was like...
I will have a salad ready for you every time you come to my house. Every time you come to my cubby.
I love your cubby.
I love my cubby too. Sometimes a little too much.
We had to stop. We were talking about... We do this every episode. We do this every episode. Second Megan walks in the door, we're like,
dude,
yo,
I've been fucking reading.
Free will, parasocial relationships, fucking opioid epidemic. Purdue's a bunch of succulent assholes that get away with murder on a historic level. And then Megan was like, we should stop talking.
This is pod fodder.
This is pod fodder.
Potter fodder. Who is my father?
Who is her father?
Where is my father? What? So our folks, our buddies on Discord wanted us to talk about some topics. Did you want to touch on any of those before
Well,
we dive into our personal vendetta?
When I refer to they, I mean Full Metal Corgi and Magic Toaster. They
the
always,
two ride or dies.
They understood the assignment. Now I gotta fucking find it. Hey guys, real quick, is there a way I can like bookmark messages? Or do I have to screen cap them like the grandma that I am? I mean, or do I need to write it down on a piece of paper?
You're a future grandma.
Where the fuck did it go?
I assume you'll be a grandma.
Do not. I sobbed into oblivion last night because I was thinking because I'm growing my grandkids right now.
Oh,
like when the baby's eggs are developing.
You're like creating her eggs.
It's like same shit happened with Ruby. I'm thinking about how. Oh, I'm getting close. Found it. She's gonna grow up and die. I'm gonna die. Will she be there when I die? Will I know when I die? And Lucas is just petting my head. He's like, let's turn on the TV.
I love the
I'm
TV.
Like, okay. Opioid epidemic. It's just like,
so many children and mothers and everybody loses each other.
For eternity. It's just like, that's what we do. And boomers put on fake lab coats and pretended to be custodians of health as they marketed heroin to teenagers with knee pain.
For financial gain?
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking. The Purdue family owns like 17 ski resorts.
Are they also the chicken
hotels.
people? Purdue chicken?
No, I don't
different
think so.
Purdue's?
I think different Purdue's. Don't quote me on that. But I remember 3 brothers of immigrants growing up in Brooklyn. They became doctors and they wanted to make fucking money. I think we need to 100% absolutely amend the Constitution that just simply states pharmaceutical companies are not above the law. Like, just, I need everybody. Well, it's not even true. It's like anybody with billions of dollars that just gets away with whatever they want because they pay off all their congressmen and their senators and whoever else bats for them and takes a load to the fucking face.
Yeah, we talked about lobbyists briefly the other day, and I think that's part of the emphasis on capital and the importance of capital in our economic and political system. And I don't know if that will ever be remedied because money equals power. How do you get power if you don't have money?
I still think, like, you see, they're interviewing all these pharmaceutical sales reps. Dude, the videos, like the sales videos for OxyContin, it's not cotton.
It's Contin. Yeah.
Were like, they make me want to sell OxyContin, sell Oxy. Like, they redid all these songs.
That's
and
so
they did
fucked.
it. And then when fentanyl came out, they did it with like early 2000s songs. And fentanyl is like 100 or 1,000 times more potent than Contin.
Yeah.
OxyContin. I like when you and I are cooking or at Let's Eat Austin in some capacity working for a class. We're like, but
yeah.
I still think if you just universal income would hopefully make people less greedy. But these sales reps, this one guy, he was a teacher. He was a phys ed teacher at a private school, and he went up to a parent that was standing in a parking lot smoking a cigar, and he was like, "Hey, could you kindly put that out? We have a no smoking policy here." And he puffs a big, cloud of smoke in this teacher's face and says, "Petty rules from petty people." And he said from that moment on, he wanted to be rich. And
The dude who got the smoke in the face?
Yeah, so he quit being a teacher, and then he became the #1 OxyContin. Yo, Murph, chill, Murph.
happened?
Cameras are rolling.
Come on now.
Bud.
What the hell?
It was an infection. He didn't. How dare you?
Lay down.
He didn't want to be. He grew up in a poor family. He wanted to be rich.
But that flagrant
Yes.
demonstration of power, like, it's contagious. It's like disgusting. It's like, I want to wield that type of merciless, kind of control over people.
Yes, and fuck, here comes all the things that come together. You see how long we've been addicted to the poppy and what country supplied it to who and who fucked everybody over and how it's just been going on since fucking forever. I was telling you, it feels like we're dealing with a biblical demonic force. Like, when it infects you, that's how it gets a tendril of this ancient element. And I was thinking about Magic Toaster's sister. See, this is where it's like, I feel like Kanye West on Joe Rogan, where he just like can't come out like saying all the stuff. I need to drink more water. I'm fucking dehydrated. I need more coffee. That'll
taught
hydrate
me. No
But
licky.
I feel that same demonic ancient energy when I deal with somebody who has borderline personality disorder, like one of my parents. And you're like, oh, they're not there anymore. Like, who they are as a person. Same with, I'm connecting it back to the Purdue Pharma. They're reanimated by the core of the vibratory essence of greed. They're by the vibratory essence of power. And I can psychically sometimes feel that reanimation. I've had dreams. I'm like, I'm not dealing with a person. I'm dealing with an echo that has been blasted for the last 4,000 years.
Yeah, it's almost like the personification of a force, some type of force that is representative of all of our most base, primal, sort of evil inclinations, like the denial of self, the denial of free will, responsibility, sort of, I don't know, I'm trying to get at, because I've been looking at free will versus determinism and the goods for society, the bads for society, the goods for the individual, the bad for the individual. And it seems like it's tied up with that sense of evil and that lack of control, the lack of responsibility that you take for your actions is somehow linked, because it's like those people wouldn't have made so much money off of other people's misfortunes if they hadn't anticipated and cared about and taken responsibility for the ramifications of making money in such an evil way. So it seems like everything is connected. Like the things that I was looking at this morning is very much connected to what you were talking about as well.
Yeah, they're up in a fucking executive suite. They're not in a coal mine town of West Virginia.
They're
where
protected from the
bodies are
consequences of their actions.
Stacking up. Yeah, and they were talking about the pill mills in Florida, how Florida has become, kind of this wild, wild west. It attracts a certain type of person to move there. There's lax regulations when it comes to all sorts of stuff. One of them being pain management. And they were talking about in one city, there were more pain management clinics than McDonald's. There was like 156 in this suburb of whatever.
Yeah.
And people are just dying. Just dead.
And also,
all the time.
McDonald's is another form of pain management.
It's true. We are all running from pain. What are you running from?
As far as like the tendrils of the evil incarnate that sort of manifests through opioid addiction and opioid abuse, it seems to have touched almost everybody.
Yes.
In some way
100%.
Or form. My brother is in prison for trying to steal someone's OxyContin. My cousin Jason died from an overdose. And I mean, it's like,
what were Jason's parents? Were they involved? Did they know? I want to know.
No.
Oh.
Jason's dad's my Uncle Johnny.
Yeah.
And he lost his first son. His first son, Johnny Jr., was cut down in a hail of gunfire by police because he was dealing with another addiction, alcohol. And I don't know, it's just like this inability of people to face those demons and say you're not going to get into this iteration. I'm going to be clean of all of that, face it, recognize it, move on, and not be part of this endless cycle of...
It takes such a cataclysm of self-awareness to turn around and say,
I'm good.
No. Especially if you're stuck in a small town or you have parents who don't give a flying fuck. Speaking of pain, we're always talking about pain. And it's the ultimate. Those pharmaceutical companies during the depositions were like, we're just trying, people are in pain.
Yeah, they do it under the guise of doing something like a net positive for society because everybody's in pain and well, what's the best solution? You give them pain medication.
I help.
But it's never about looking at the source of the pain and trying to solve that.
No, it's just writing more scripts.
Yeah, putting a Band-Aid on a fart.
There was this doctor who ran one of those pain clinics, and he had 100 patients die. And they interviewed a different doctor who was not involved, but just merely observing, and was like, if you have 2 patients die, you should be reported to the medical board.
What was the size of the group that 100 people died?
It was in a small town in West Virginia. So he had alone 100 patients die. They didn't disclose how many patients he was seeing.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, most of them died.
Holy Janko Janes.
Okay. So this is talking about your cross to bear, your burden. As we seek to apply that learned in previous lessons dealing with attributes of the soul, which should be magnified through our daily activities, we begin to realize our lack of application of those essential elements or attributes. We realize that we bear crosses because we have not yet learned to give complete expression to our soul faculties. We gradually realize how much of the inner self we have covered up, pushed aside for what we considered the more important desires of the conscious self. In so doing, we have pushed ourselves further and further away from God. This is a very God-centered book. How well we begin to comprehend that our crosses are created by ourselves. On the other hand, as we learn to apply these attributes of the soul, there comes joy and peace in the realization that the inner self is awakening and that it is ever on the alert to express itself through the exercising of faith, virtue, and understanding. Our relationships with others are made more perfect, and the ideal is set to Him. Trigger warning, God talk.
Capital H.
Capital
Him.
H. Him. He. It.
Our God is an awesome God.
We should have a soundboard.
Yeah, we should.
We see our crosses in a new light. We begin to catch a glimpse of the glory of the crown. We come to the realization of having, in truth, a part of the divine plan. But I love that it's how much of us are we hiding from ourselves, you know?
Yeah, can you tease that out for me and like help me understand how we could actually hide from ourselves?
I think when we deny true expression, that could be, I wish I knew your cousin better to like maybe dig into somebody who was dealing with addiction, but I can speak, there's plenty of addicts in my family. True expression, so I'm in pain, I need help, this isn't working, something, right? They put it on the back burner. I'm fine, I'm good, this is good, I love this, ooh, I love feeling, they're prioritizing all these other things, right? So it's getting you further and further away from the truth, which is like, I'm stressed out every day. I have PTSD. I can't handle going in the car. And I have to drink in order to feel okay. I don't know who I am anymore because this addiction and this pain. So there's all these things that become slotted in. And I think people don't want to feel vulnerable, right? They don't want to feel insecure. They don't want to admit to themselves that there's an issue. And then there's all sorts of other stuff you could slot in there. They're greedy. They're jonesing. They just want that fucking whatever.
Yeah, they assume everybody else has it together. Everybody else is okay, and they don't want to be like the odd man out who needs help.
But imagine being in a relationship, a friendship, a family relationship, and saying, "Hey, man, I'm tired. I don't know what to do." You know, it's like there's no direct communication anymore. There's only, well, this is just my garbage, and I'm fine. You know,
yeah.
But that's just getting you away from what you need to be looking at.
Awareness is it's like the answer to everything. I've been realizing increasing your awareness of yourself and all of your different options that you have in life. So as I mentioned, I was reading about free will versus determinism, and I made a lot of notes.
I think Full Metal described God before we dive into free will.
Yeah, please.
He said, "We have no free will. Every thought and action, every synapse firing can be traced through physical interactions all the way to the beginning of the universe. It's physics in motion." I'm like, oh, that's God. Bing, you like hit it on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes me think of Albert Einstein. Rest in peace, King. He refused to believe that God rolled dice.
Yeah. There's no way. Do you really think? But that's us projecting our own, like, evolved from ape.
But it also brings in quantum physics and, like, the probability of different particles appearing out of nothing, so there's so many aspects of reality that we can't reconcile, as far as like the clockmaker God who set everything in motion and just isn't part of the way things unfold anymore, other than maybe being the laws of nature that govern the way that things unfold. But it's like so it's interesting because we're talking about how evil infiltrates our society in generations and generations and is like passed down. And oh wait, I'm about to get bank foomed.
We gotta bat the bank fooper drone above the house.
So if you tell people free will doesn't exist, you're not responsible for your actions, you didn't actually make that decision, there was brain activity preparing to move your hand and moved your hand before you even decided you were going to move your hand. If you tell people there is no free will, it's all an illusion, they will become much less responsible, much less engaged with daily life. They'll become depressed. They'll engage in much more immoral acts because it's not them doing it.
It's so funny. I have the opposite reaction. I'm like, oh,
but yes, there's another
yes.
take. There's another take. It's like if you do believe in determinism, which science does, it has been proven that everything is sort of cause and effect. You can have much more compassion for people, and that compassion that you can have when you sort of take the pressure off of choice making and like are you looking something up?
Yes.
Okay. Are you writing down what I'm saying?
I'm gonna start scribing everything you're talking about.
Okay. It says, so there's no such thing as free will, granted, but we're better off believing that there is, because as individuals we're all part of society, so like it's very much part of our existence to have to interact with others, and we couldn't exist if we didn't have others. If you're gonna burp into the microphone.
we need to hook up that burp mic. I want like that echo on it, like the reverb.
So let's see, I have some specific
Nick Dasco, I have homework for you right now because I need you to find something for me. I'll pay you in stickers. There is a quote in Raising Arizona where the lady that wants a baby talks about why she so desperately wanted to procreate, and I remember her saying that, and I was like, oh my God, that's why God burst himself into a million fractured, shattered pieces. So Dasco, can you find me that quote when she
go
I think it's when they're both like watching the sunset or something, and she's talking about why she felt the need to procreate. I hope that's enough.
That's enough. Hit it. Let's go. So, okay. Belief in free will. So if you have a diminished belief in free will, you have more stress, you have more unhappiness, you have lesser commitment in relationships, you have less meaning in life. There's been scientific studies where people, like half of the people are primed with this reading that they do on how they don't have free will and how free will doesn't exist and it's an illusion, and then the other half of people go about as normal. And so there's like opportunities for them to cheat, opportunities for them to steal, and opportunities for them to otherwise behave in a dishonest way in order to gain an advantage over the other people. So the people who have been primed with this lack of belief in free will, 9 times out of 10 will take all of those immoral advantages.
These bitches need faith. So it says we cannot afford for people to internalize the truth about free will. Say that again? We
cannot afford for people to internalize the truth about free will, the fact that it doesn't actually exist, because our society will crumble. So there's all these people who believe that we need the illusion of free will
to keep it
in
all
order
together,
to maintain our sort of composed sense of responsibility for everybody in society. But on the other side of that, since determinism is the actual truth and free will is an illusion.
Define determinism. I mean, I can gather from...
Determinism is like cause and effect. Like every action has a reaction, and we, like, every thought, memory, dream, hope, desire, wish is the result of neurons firing in our brains. And all of that sort of brain chemistry is, we receive genetically. We're predisposed genetically to have this brain. Like, we didn't create ourselves. Our parents didn't create themselves. Everybody was sort of just created as a result of the ones who came before us. So I didn't choose where I was born. I didn't choose who I was born to. Everything in my life has been determined by some other factor.
By a legion of archaic cream pies. We are nothing but moon cream pies that go on for 300 generations.
So eloquent. So eloquent. So it's a danger for society because we would sink into decadence and despondency if we really internalize the truth about free will. Like, it's not my fault.
Why do I feel that? I guess it's because it's my substantial amount of faith in spiritualism where I'm like, okay, sick. If my freaky deaky soul on the other end was like, yo, these are the circumstances, there are hoops you have to jump through, and if you don't, well, this is gonna like all that cause and effect, the whole labyrinth of it.
So you don't believe in free will? Because
come on, man.
In my opinion, you seem to have a very strong sense of self, will, responsibility, choice. You sort of every day, every moment choose the like higher road, the harder road, the more, I don't know, I just never see you like give in to the dark truth that we have no power. Like, you seem very empowered.
I think I think of every time in meditation where my body turned into a million fucking rainbow fractals and I lost my body, and I had never seen this before, but I found out what they were later, the eyes of Buddha.
Huh.
Those like crazy, they're like painted eyes.
Yeah.
I'd never seen those before, but I saw them in meditation when my body exploded. I have had many profundities. Is that right?
Profundities, I think, is a word.
Okay. If it's not, then it is.
You can say profound experiences or realizations.
Oh, wait, Nick, let me get to you in 1 second. I have touched the shit that make people in India stop what they're doing, stop eating, and go, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I've experienced that multiple times. So that, however that's affecting me,
Yeah.
that rocked my fucking shit, and it shook off whatever debris, rust, generational trauma.
Yeah.
Going, oh fuck, dude, shit, I poked it. Shit, there's something on the other side. I don't know what it is.
What the fuck was that?
What
Did
the
anybody
fuck?
else see that?
What the fuck? Also, channeling dead people is something that suddenly started happening to me. Like I've been... There they are. Dude, I fucking love the truth speaker. Like, the shit that, like, suddenly pops in right when you say something from profound.
Shit.
They pop in. Because my dad popped in on that speaker that just turned on. In the song title, it was on fucking shuffle on Spotify. It was called Revelations in Purgatory.
Fuck. What the
dude.
fuck?
I could write a book on the insane shit I've been through, and it's just mind-boggling.
When will you write that book?
I don't know.
You were talking about how the deterministic universe is not a deterrent for you, like you still feel empowered to act for some reason.
No, it's a relief.
Yeah.
It's a fucking relief.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can help people. Oh, okay. I can help my friends. I can help my family. I can, oh yeah, that feels good. I can be a servant to others. Fuck my giblets and my ego and my, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, because when you have profound experiences, you're just like, you just get fucking whacked.
You get whacked, but you also have a nice reminder about the trivial nature of everything else. Like,
yes.
all of the things that might trip you up, you can sort of zoom out and realize, like, oh, you know, this is just this realm, you know, this plane of existence. This is where we are, and this is the nature of it. It's like you have a better understanding of the way reality unfolds. So you can sort of not be so invested in it that you get
The
heartbroken
illusion.
every time something goes wrong.
This never clicked until after I had a kid, and I just want you guys to know all like the existential shit that I went through in therapy, like learning how to be my own support person when it came to like entropy is like a big thing that has always made me crumble psychically. I watched A League of Their Own at like 5, and there was like a flashback sequence. So like these old ladies remembering when they played baseball. My mom could not console me.
Aww.
Free Willy, my dog Skip, is like, my mom was like, maybe we don't watch these things anymore, because there was just this profound, I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
So having a kid, oh God, all that shit came fucking just like banging at my brain store. And having Ruby and like witnessing the miracle of life being slowly breathed into something was a fucking trip, and it was hard. It was hard for me. And then this quote, I never gave a shit about it until
Dasco came through.
Ooh, no, that reminds me, we got to go back to Dasco. We're
There's so much
we're
to do.
crocheting all the threads of reality right now. Then Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. And I was like, that has like, oh, everybody's a fucking baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody is a baby who needs VR goggles and some MDMA to spend more time in the arms of their mother.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how violent, how perverted, how fucking abused. Like I was like filming some wrestling shit, and I was at this wrestling thing, and the way I saw this dad grab his kid, because his kid was just being a kid, and it just like, I want to pick up that dad in gigantic robotic AI arms, put the VR goggles, put a little pacifier, and be like, shh, honey, I know you're frustrated. Because I feel for frustrated parents. I feel for that. Like, I get it. We all get pushed to our edge and whatever, but, you know, we want to protect the kids, and kids should be protected at all costs. But I also pluck that big parent, and I want to put them in a crib with everybody goes to sleep. You know,
what do they learn from receiving that type of unconditional love and attention?
Patience, awareness, safety. How many kids are growing up and they don't feel fucking safe all the time? They say that retards IQ. Mm-hmm. Kids are not allowed to flourish if they're constantly in fear.
It makes so much sense that you would never feel comfortable enough to strike out and you know, indulge your curiosity. If you don't feel safe to do so, you're just gonna hide all the time, because you don't know that anyone has your back. Like, you need somebody to get your six.
I've got your back no matter what.
Hell yeah.
I don't care what you do.
She means it. She means it.
Let's see if Dasco found the quote. Let's see. And had felt that having a critter was the next logical step. It was all she thought about. voiceover. Her point was that there was just too much love and beauty for just the two of us, and every day we kept a child out of the world was a day we might later regret having missed. Yes. That movie is it's like one of my favorite movies, Raising Arizona. It's like just such a good movie. But I was like, I've always been obsessed with this spark of the universe, where this dodecahedron of infinite energy that we call God or dog God or
Dogma.
him or her or Shiva, whatever, like, just was like, had some universe shattering sentient moment of separation.
The first action, right?
Yeah.
Because when I studied faith,
Thank you, Nick. You get a shirt.
Faith and
when
reason.
the shirts happen.
There's this concept that the scholastics concentrated on, like the first precept or the first thought, the first action, like the motion that set everything else in motion. So this fragmenting of the ultimate whatever is, that's the moment that you seek, like that first.
Yeah. What is that? Because so I'm gonna let everybody in a little secret. We'll get personal here. I'm balls deep in alchemy. I started practicing high magic during the pandemic because it rocked my world. I remember showing you, there was an episode of the Midnight Gospel with Damien Eccles, who was one of the, there's a name for them, Memphis 3, I think. The satanic panic victims. He spent decades in solitary confinement, and he became a Zazen master. Like, there was a famous teacher from Japan flying over to visit him in Memphis, and his story fucking rang my gong. It's inexplicable. I don't know. It's like, what is that? Like, I watched that episode over and over again. I bought Damien Eccles books. That shit was like, I suddenly felt some past life. Oh, yeah, this is, yeah,
She found it.
And I remember my Aunt Teresa like sending me part of our, so Hazelmeyer, my last name, obviously got fucked on Ellis Island just like everybody else's name. Hasselmeer, some part of Austria, and there was somebody over there. God, forgive me, Teresa, for I have sinned, because I do not remember the story exactly. But one of my ancestors.
Is she in the chat? Can she?
She's not in the chat. I don't think she's in the chat. She sent me this. Like, he was passing out truth pamphlets and
Your ancestor?
Yeah, evidence against the Catholic Church, and got fucking whooped for that. So I was like, yeah, is that in our DNA somewhere? Like, it's all wrapped up in the helix. And
I mean, that's the crux of Protestantism.
I got it back.
Get it back.
I got it back.
Go for it.
Bank Fooper drone annihilated. I'm trying to understand, and my phone is what's filming right now, so I can't look at the quote, but maybe I can bring it up in the next episode. Separation is huge when it comes to alchemy. You're not separate from anybody, anything, anyone, God. There is no separation, and you truly have to understand that. And right now, what I'm having a hard time with is infinity. They're like, once you guys understand and can conceptualize infinity, you will realize that you're not separate. And does anybody have anything to say about that? Like, it's so hard for me to look at somebody I hate and be like, we're part of the same, but like, that's where the work is.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It brings me back to this like dichotomy between matter and spirit that's been sort of the main gist of most philosophy. It seems like we are infinite beings inside finite
meat suits.
And so that's like the basis for most of our struggle. And it, like, if I go back to the free will versus determinism thing, we don't have free will, but we have the cognitive ability to identify a lot of different options.
Yeah.
So like, we as mammals who have live birth and nurture babies, like, our existence is predicated on this ability of ours to like choose the right food, choose the right mate, choose the right habitat, choose the right way to stay alive, the best way to stay alive. But it gets so mixed up with, I don't know, it's like the separateness of our society. Everybody has to have their own thing, and like that causes pain and struggle. But then also, if we fall back on this idea that we're all one, everything is part of the same blanket. If you've seen I Heart Huckabees, here's the blanket. This is a stock exchange. This is an orgasm. This is a pie. This is a hot dog. It's all one. You can't stay there. It's like Ram Dass saying, like, you want to stay high all the time. Like, this is bliss. Like, you're not reliant upon your sense of self or separation. Like, you realize the oneness, but you can't stay there because you live in a society where everybody has to be separate and responsible and take care of their own shit, or else they go to prison, they fall apart. All these different things happen as a result of separation.
We're going to talk about alchemy next time, because alchemy starts bringing in physics, quantum physics.
So alchemy used to be the attempt of, they used to be called philosophers, that nowadays they'd be called scientists, natural philosophers who were attempting to turn lead into gold. They were trying to make gold, basically. So they needed like the philosopher's stone or whatever. There's all this like folklore surrounding this practice of something about quicksilver. There's so many different substances, and it predates like extensive knowledge of the periodic table of elements, and like actual chemistry and physics. But I think Whitney is talking about it in a sense of,
I found it.
Whatever she's about to share.
Spiritual alchemy is an ancient practice with the goal of spiritual transformation, not material. On the other hand, alchemy was an occult science and a forerunner to modern-day chemistry. It began during the medieval period and sought to transmute base metals such as lead into gold. Alchemy was practiced by people who wanted to attain material wealth and those who sought a universal elixir for immortality. Spiritual alchemy, then, is an ancient philosophy that uses the metaphor of transforming metals into gold for attaining spiritual enlightenment. It is used to achieve contentment, harmony, and awareness by liberating one's essence from one's acquired personality. The personality contains the inauthentic part of the self, including one's beliefs, concepts, opinions, wounds, fears, and phobias.
Did you say inauthentic?
Yes.
Okay, please proceed.
In this way, the transmutation of lead into gold functions as a metaphor for the process of self-actualization and spiritual rebirth. Then it has the 7 stages. 7 stages, which I didn't know that there were 7 stages, because this is definitely...
There's always 7 stages.
There is always 7 stages. There's always 7 layers in the taco dip.
7 gates, so 7 right levels of heaven.
Man, calcination is the first stage. Disillusion is the second stage. Separation, stage 3. Let's read that real quick.
Let's read that.
In the separation stage, the pure essence is extracted from the rest of the mixture. As the first 2 stages were associated with fire and water, separation is related to the air element. In a spiritual sense, it can be understood as separation from one's habitual thought processes or emotional trigger responses in order to step back and distinguish our essence from our acquired personality.
Nature versus nurture.
Separation is a very liberating stage where we can free ourselves of resentment towards ourselves and others. It is a kind of liberation from negative emotions. By doing so, we can become aware of our true self feelings. We separate ourselves from our inauthentic selves and step closer to our essential or higher self. The separation occurs when we no longer identify with the character we have been playing, but rather we become the awareness itself. That's something Ram Dass talks about. They call it the dance. Like,
Yeah.
you're not this fucking person.
But sometimes you got to put those shoes back on.
Well, that's how you.
Because we live in a society, we're groups, we're communities.
But you just gotta know how to like take
you got to
it off.
play the game.
You gotta play the game. So the separation occurs when we no longer identify with the character we have been playing, but rather we become the awareness itself. Awareness of our own thoughts, feelings, and desires, but without identifying with them or becoming attached to them. That's another thing that you and I talk a lot about. That Ram Dass talks about too, is attachment. Like I have a really good sense of where I'm sticky lately, and it sucks, but I'm not here to sit and try to get rid of it, because then I'm attached and I'm clinging to the thing to get rid of it. You just gotta fucking relax. It sucks.
You just gotta identify it and be aware of it and notice when it's happening.
And hug it and love it.
And
smooch
just smother it in compassionate awareness.
The separation stage is a kind of detachment from our old skin. After the emptiness and suffering in the first stage of calcination, and then the fearful stage of disillusion, where hidden emotions emerge, the separation stage comes as a welcome relief as we experience the stillness of being separated from our inferior and inauthentic qualities. Yeah, baby, that's the only thing I'm here to do.
I DK though, because I feel like calling bullshit. I feel like it's all me. It's all me, right? Like, I'm not here to banish any part of me. Like, I don't want to feel fear or pain or suffering, but I do feel like that is sort of part of the cloud of Megan and my experiences.
Baby, I have banished so much of me. It's not banishing. I think it's separating. When I met Lucas, I was a completely different person. I didn't want to. So yeah, that was me.
But you don't think those parts are still in there?
No, I fucking did a lot of work to get to polish the silver.
Right.
To buff. To see me clearer. Those destructive habits are not who you are. Those are things you pick up from the environments you grow up in. They're not things that you should coddle and take with you. They're destructive.
Yeah. But I feel like that, like the accretion disc of who I am, it's like all my experiences that I've had.
You're not playing the game right. That's not, see, you gotta separate from your pure essence, right? Which is the fucking all-knowing Megan that doesn't let anybody fuck with her. And she knows everything, and she radiates unconditional love, and she knows when to do X, Y, Z. And there's the higher Megan, and then there's the layers of all of us that we've accumulated by interacting in this reality. So
see, I feel like there's this journey to like establish your true self, but then there's like crossed wires, because the actual name of the game is to have no self.
Right.
So why do I need to establish true self before I abolish true self?
True self is no self. True self is recognizing that we are all one. True self is a part of that, the light in which the universe began.
Right. So inauthentic self is my day-to-day experience.
Yeah. Yeah, or not being attached to your ego. Your ego,
right,
being most of the ways that we function
my
in reality.
ego being the way that I can interact with other people.
Yes.
In a day-to-day sort of necessity.
Right, Megan Smith. But the true,
I'm Rubbish Cook.
True Megan has no name.
True Megan is God.
Yeah. True Megan is the constant servant, the helper, the loving eyes of everything, the holy giblet.
You heard it here first, folks.
The holy giblet.
True Megan is the holy giblet. It's a fucking butterfly landing on a flower. You son of a bitch. And I'm fucked up now.
Somebody give me a fucking bean burrito. I did forgot to fucking eat, man.
We needed a burrito launcher stat. Where's Lucas? Lucas! That's the struggle, you know?
That's the struggle.
It's like,
hard. It's fucking hard, Megan. It ain't
you gotta
fucking
figure
easy.
out how to be in this world better, because you benefit from it, everyone around you benefits from it, and your sort of job, career, life shit benefits from it. But then you have to have that upper realization it's meaningless.
You had a big realization while you're doing acid that you were strong enough to walk by. You know, that is a huge peeling.
I think so.
Of the inauthentic self. You don't need to be scared.
Right.
You know, it's like you were realizing your power.
Yeah.
That's something you can, guess what? Leave on the fucking ground.
True.
But Megan goes, well, wait.
Well, I just feel like that because like having a sense of my own mortality and like being cautious about taking psychedelic drugs in a public place where you're surrounded by 1,000 people, there's nothing wrong with being apprehensive
There's
about
nothing wrong
doing
with being
that.
cautious, but I felt like you had a bigger realization that was more...
I thought that I would need help in that state, but I realized that I still had my own sense of responsibility and power and ability to help others in that state, which is huge. I dig it. I want it all the time. But I do think that it's not so black and white. Like, it's not so easy to draw a line between what is good behavior, what is bad behavior, what is higher self, what is lower self, what is dark, what is light. Like, everything is so much more complex than we can really put into words. Because whenever you conceptualize something like, this is deterministic, this is free will, you draw a line and you try and put things on one side or the other, but there's always something left out. Like, it's not... Reality is much more ineffable than that, I think. But I think we shouldn't stop trying to explain what it is.
I think once you start practicing more what serves your higher self and what doesn't, you'll be able to see that a little bit more clear. And is that still going, by the way?
Yeah.
Sick.
Brother, father.
You can make my Texas torpedoes.
Right now?
Yeah.
What's a Texas torpedo? It's a beef.
Let me tell you.
He's about to tell us, ladies and gentlemen.
Pork sausage encrusted jalapeno stuffed with brisket.
Oh, shit.
Pork encrusted jalapenos stuffed with brisket and cream cheese. That's what are you gonna bring that to work or no? Oh no.
God bless you.
God
And HEB.
God bless America. Dude, HEB is the shit.
Oh, hell yeah. It's going on the grill. Let's
Dude,
go.
Yeah, dude. Yes. We went to that new HEB.
Where?
Lake Austin. It's like a multi-level coffee shop.
Does it have an escalator?
Yes.
I feel like escalators are part of one of my favorite things about having a body.
Yes.
More fun than an elevator, unless the elevator is clear or there's like a glass portal you can
little
see
Chris
through.
says he'll take 2. Well, we only have 2, little Chris. Dude, could you imagine shipping that to fucking Minnesota? He'll do it. Little Chris, we got you. I also...
Hey, little Chris. Jiminy Jillikers. Can we keep going or what?
Yeah, until I pass out from hunger.
Wait, can't a husband give you some nourishment? Husband!
I'm sure there's something in this...
His creation of those tubulars.
Can I have your...
Can you rock
Could
a
you
tubular over
excuse-
here, brother?
Tubular... Ooh!
Ah.
I wanted to read something for the people.
This is for the people, by the people, of the people.
This book is called Cosmic Habit Force. Just gonna let you know how nerdy I really am. I just feel like everybody's got to be warned of this. We should have a little story time where I read you guys the things that you should watch out for. Avoid predatory personalities.
Be on the lookout.
Earlier, I quoted Napoleon Hill cautioning, avoid persons and circumstances which make you feel inferior. This simple remark contains greater dimensions than may at first appear. One of the toughest lessons I have had to learn in life is that I am still learning as I write these words is the prevalence of people who are emotionally predatory. Such people use emotional power plays, almost always with plausible deniability, to keep you unsteady, needful, or confused. Emotional power plays are vampiric. Such moves are the adjunct reality for which the mythical vampire is a metaphor. They must be watched for and, when discovered, separated from. My
Energy vampires.
My therapist and I have talked about this. These people put every droplet of IQ, intellect, intelligence, energy that they've consumed into being emotional predators. And they don't say, hey, I'm gonna rock your fucking world, I'm gonna abuse you, nobody comes up and says that stuff to you.
Are they even conscious of their own sucking nature?
I feel like they're not, because they're under the guise of like, I need your help, you need to help me, my life is falling apart, you need to do this for me. You know, they come in all sorts of ways, and they get you with their hooks, and then they like get energy from their hooks. So I just wanted
I'm definitely susceptible to people who need help, because I love helping people out.
You gotta be able to discern. Oh wait, no. You're
I'm definitely trying to
bit.
Exercise my discernment muscle.
Because there are a lot of people, you know, when I think about the vampires, they grew up really traumatic. They don't know what they're doing or how they do it, but goddamn, they're fucking evil.
But they don't have to be, right?
What do you
They
mean?
can grow up and grow out of all of that.
Most therapists won't work with people who have borderline personality disorder.
What are they supposed to do?
Exactly. Who the fuck knows? Because they're so codependent, and they're so good at smashing boundaries, and they're so good at making you confused and jump through all their strange emotional hoops that a lot of therapists are like, no, I cannot deal with you.
So they're just a lost cause?
In the psychiatry world at the moment, yes. I haven't looked into, I'm only hearing this from 3 psychiatrists and therapists that I know who banned people with BPD. I don't know. I mean,
it's a bit of a bummer.
They're left to fester in the fucking world.
Because if everybody is just the accumulation of all of the things that have happened to them and their genetics and everything, you would hope that everybody would have the same chance to be happy.
Uh-oh, did we freeze? Just because I plugged something in? Oh,
What happened?
Lord.
Where am I? Who's talking?
Are we frozen? Can you hear us?
You don't see what your eyes want to see. How can life
Oh, well, they can hear us. I just like plugged in my fucking laptop to charge it, and it just done froze everything.
It was a surge.
Well, it has been an hour, but god damn it.
I wanted to touch on...
Let's touch it.
We can do
Let's
it another
fucking
time.
No, let's touch it.
No, because the coronation thing just happened.
Oh shit, we were supposed to fucking talk about...
I read about it briefly, and then I was like, this is bullshit. Why do we give a shit? The monarchy is something, it's like one of those illusions that's helpful for society. Like, just like free will, it's an illusion that's helpful for society. But so what I wrote was the sovereign, this is from the website about the monarchy, the English monarchy, the British monarchy. Sovereign act as a focus for national identity, unity, and pride, gives a sense of stability and continuity. So it's like, this thing is contrived in order to give British people sort of a heightened sense of self and like duty and pride, nationalistic pride.
National pride.
But it's just like a celebrity thing, like how people form parasocial relationships with people they don't know because they get to witness every aspect of their lives. It's like that parasocial relationship
obsessed.
where you see it's all one-sided. So like the people who were obsessed with Lady D and her untimely demise and everything that she was getting into, it's just like in our day and age, it's translated because of social media and everybody can display whatever they want and also look at anything they want kind of anonymously. Everybody I've had parasocial relationships. When I was in 8th grade, I was fucking obsessed with Angelina Jolie and Orlando Bloom as Legolas. And I imagined
Tom DeLonge was my fucking jam.
we had a relationship. You know, we were like riding on horses and shooting stuff with bows and arrows, and that was my parasocial relationship.
Do you think D has any parasocial relationships?
Yeah, he has a parasocial relationship with hot dogs.
Oh,
I love you, D. Don't cry, honey. Don't talk. Don't watching waka. I love you, sweetheart. So yeah, like everybody paying attention to whatever the fuck coronation thing of Prince Charles into King Charles. It's just another level of distraction for us, you know? It's like, does this really enrich my life, myself, my higher self? My higher self has nothing to do with this. This is just the voyeuristic quality. Some people want to see and some people want to show. And sometimes it's hard to be a shower, honestly. It gets a little hard.
Be a shower, not a grower.
I love you, my son.
It can be taxing, especially
What are you trying to say?
oh god, he's like, look, I'm hungry and I'm thirsty and I'm itchy. Oh yeah. Why is his neck 6 feet long is what I want to know.
Because he's an animal.
I guess he's a big dog. I don't see D as a big dog because
He is a big dog, though.
He's a really big dog. He's like 80 pounds, but he's just little D.
He's a floof, too.
He's just he's very
Big D.
timid and obedient and
He's so gentle.
loyal and gentle. Yeah, so he just seems really small to me, in a good way, not in a
You're his mom.
demasculating
You're his
way.
mom, though.
Yes, he is.
He's
my
your
child.
baby.
He's my stinky child.
Ooh, it's under my fingernails.
I was reading too, like the origin of kings. They were God's mouthpiece.
Yes.
But I was like, oh, we're so fucked up. But I also didn't live. I don't have recollection of living back then, so I can't tell you how fucked up shit was to where we needed somebody to be an authority of God so that we'd quit raping children or you know, burning shit down.
Unless it was condoned by... No, just kidding. But for real.
You know what I want to talk about on the pod too is all the artifacts that the Catholic Church has.
That really grinds your gears.
It fucking gets... How
It
dare
fucks
you?
you up that
How
they hold
dare
that, where
you?
they withhold that.
They withhold it. There was a documented no. I mean, it was documented from the source I was reading that they found a gold Buddha statue in the Grand Canyon. They fucking came and took it.
In the Grand Canyon?
Mm-hmm. What? It fucks up the whole timeline because people are like, well, wait a second, why the fuck is this here? and they've confiscated stuff that doesn't fit in the timeline.
Oh, absolutely. That's been the job of the Catholic Church.
I know, but
to
I'm like, there's
expunge
cool
and erase and
shit.
redact anything that doesn't fit that streamlined patriarchal story of, you know, I mean, it goes without saying, it's like the job of the Catholic Church to maintain the story that suits their authority.
I just want to rock anybody with that much power. I want to rock their shit.
You going to need a lot of investors.
Can we start a GoFundMe, guys? Of like, I want to blow up the Catholic Church. I mean,
Not really.
not with incendiary devices, but with
Metaphorically.
our metaphysical minds. I want it to crumble. Yeah, like they're so worried. All these government agencies are so worried about the UAP and the UFO stuff. rocking people's worlds, and I'm like, they're just gonna bend their narrative to encompass aliens and God. Like, don't think that I don't think society would fucking crumble if they're like, yeah, no.
Everybody's afraid of the purge. Everyone is afraid that if people realized they were powerful, they would take up arms and steal and kill and maim, and everybody thinks like it's coming, and there's like this levee that we've built against it that we need to maintain, and it's all built on illusion and lies and like what will happen if they learn the truth. It's so Full Metal says my evangelical boss has already rationalized aliens into his religion. I'm like, let's go. There are government agencies, factions of the government right now who are like, look, we're scared. And it has been in the news, and the New York Times has posted it. And I'm like, y'all are scared of nothing, but it's a big Ouroboros. They've created this house of cards. And seen when it kind of really came to a head in the 50s, when Roswell and stuff, and Big Brother, the big white man of the government, was just relax. He's going to take care of it. And we have enough nukes to obliterate all the whales and nuke the whales. Yeah, there are incidences of our nuclear devices being shut off in ways that they remotely could not describe, and ways of Russian ones being turned on with ways that they couldn't figure out or describe. And they were meeting behind the curtain saying like, fuck, what the fuck is this? Did you do that? Because you promised you weren't going to do that. And like, well, did you? Well, I mean, it's incredibly comforting to think of some benevolent force that's like watching us. That's just going like, you guys have no idea that your intuitive, psychic brain power, you guys are just farting away. To me, it makes much more sense if aliens were as sort of like varied and mercurial and unpredictable as us. You know? Like, I don't know that like a higher level of intelligence, like the intelligence required to achieve interstellar space travel, I don't know that actually would mean that they were emotionally intelligent too, or like measured and responsible and, you know, forward thinking. I don't know if they'd be good or bad. There's probably a bunch of different kinds, actually. There was, in this J.J. Abrams UFO show, it's really cool because they swing the pendulum from hyper believers, people being gaslit by the government, to people who are like, look, we're the CIA. We have disinformation. What are things that they expel out? Propaganda? Missions. We have disinformation missions. Look, we've toppled this country and that country. We're out here to gaslight you guys. That's part of it. We don't call it disinformation, though. We call it counterintelligence. You know, that's been going on since the dawn of mankind. But the propaganda machine. Bomb. Ex-CIA guy. He's like, yeah, no, we had a survivor of an alien crash, and he lived out the rest of his days in New Mexico. And then it just fucking cuts to something else. I was like, J.J. Abrams is the shit. Wait, where did you watch that? It's on Showtime. I don't think I have that. Dude, I don't know. It's like, how did you get it? I don't know. I don't fucking know how I have it. It's just not there. Paper Showtime. Yes, psyops. Yeah, it's just like a big thing. The alien's name was Eba. They were like, no, yeah, we had Eba McIntyre. I believe it was Eba McIntyre, and the alien died in 1957 and didn't last very long on Earth. Aw, but Eba's a pretty name. I was like, y'all were hiding. Can we go see? Where's it buried? You know, like I want to give roses, or I want to like drop some cool shit on that grave, man. Leave my lighter in my bra, just like Jim Morrison's grave. The Lizard King. The Lizard King. The Lizard Emperor would be the Eba. What a dream. I fucking love being alive, especially in your proximity. Because the way that your brain operates and sees reality is like
You say that and
Very
I do the very dark.
It's very dark.
It's the quintessential female thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? But it's like I'm always hiding who I am to my neighbors or in reality because they're like,
no, I was thinking about this. I'm not trying to gas you up, but
you're trying to gas me up.
I'm not trying to gas you up, but I was thinking about like my dumb work shirts and stuff, like when I have to put on work clothes, and like Aaron has work clothes and stuff too, and we're like we have to seem professional and like, you know, whatever bullshit. And then I think about like what you wear when you teach a class. I'm like, she just puts on Whitney clothes. She just wears Whitney clothes.
Everybody wants Aaron. Everybody wants Megan. Everybody wants Whitney. They don't want this person. Like what Aaron wears, it's so cute because I'm like, dude, you look like you're trying to not be who you are.
But it is a flavor of who he is. It's sort of like a polished...
No, I'm not.
If you had seen him on your day...
That's what I'm saying.
That's...
People want to go to Aaron's class where he just fucking hit a giant bong and he's wearing a fucking tie-dye ball gown. People would pay more money to learn from him.
But since we went to culinary school and there's like this
restaurant
illusion of professionalism that people seek, but I feel like I discover more and more, like when I share personal stories, when I am my authentic self and like just let whatever's gonna fly from my mouth, people are fucking jazzed about it
because
they
it's
love
authentic.
that shit.
They
love that shit.
Why don't you wear your Simpsons shit? It's like a conversation piece. It's a starter, and I fucking figured that out when I was teaching a cocktail class with Aaron, and he had another one coming in, and I was leaving, and I was wearing all the Whitney shit, and I had all the motorcycle gear with me, and I was going, and they're like, who the fuck is that? And Aaron's like, oh, that's Whitney. She teaches cocktail classes, and everybody was like, well, we won.
Yeah.
And I remember Yoshi. I was sitting in the parking garage of the hotel we had just opened, and we're doing all the fucking training for the restaurant, and then here walks Yoshi to a 1952 baby blue Studebaker, and he's got his knives on his back, and he's wearing giant leather boots and a black leather jacket, and you're like, I'm gonna hire that guy, you know, because you're like, you don't give a fuck.
It demonstrates a strong sense of self.
Yes.
It's like, you know what you're doing. You know what is going on. You have a good handle on how you want to affect reality in other people. And
hopefully you want to bring out their authentic giblets. And what are they wearing to appease the invisible?
I struggle with the what am I wearing thing because ladies
and gentlemen, everybody grab a cigarette, sit down. You and I could talk about this for a long time.
For real, like we want to come up with our own clothing line
where we always want to look like sexy femme robots. Like I saw these leggings once on a fucking runway, and they looked like if a knight fucked a cyborg and birthed these really cool metal leggings.
Yeah,
but you gotta look like a Quaker or an Easter basket or a
it's
bohemian
like, it's
influencer.
Boho chic. It's like peasant sleeves, and I get so worked up because all this shit is made from slave labor, and it's fucking garbage that's filling landfills,
trash.
and I don't want to pay $49 for this fucking bullshit. I just want to look like a Harajuku robot, fembot. Like
I want to look like RoboCop's cooler cousin, okay? And I'm like, why am I stuck in this garbage?
But I also want it to be comfortable. Like I want like linen and like natural materials. I don't want it to be stuffy. I don't know. If you want it, you got to make it yourself, right?
Dude, I am down. I don't know how we will make this come to fruition, but
John
I am
Paul's
down.
got a sewing machine. I made those cloaks. That was really fun. We have so many things that we want to make.
We'll get there.
We're gonna make
We've
a
got
cookbook.
Like 50 more years.
We're gonna make
we do
our
want to do
own
a
clothing
cookbook.
line. Everything. Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it.
Let's do it. Also, I don't know how many people are out and about in Austin this Friday, but it's about to be a fucking live show up in this bitch. So if you want to come to Carousel Lounge,
What time?
maybe like 7. I think it's 7 p.m. because it's like an all-female ticket. So there's like 3 bands, and myself and Whitney will be there in support of Rubbish Cook.
Ruby will be there too until Lucas gets off of work.
Hell yeah. So it's gonna be some jokes, some cooking, some
Somebody once told me.
dancing. The world is gonna roll me. Anyway, just wanted to plug that because performing in person is sheer delight.
Summer Sleep Music says Carousel. I love that place. Well, if you're in Austin or
Let's
you got
go.
friends in Austin, tell
Show
them to
up.
come.
Pull up.
We're gonna do a live jammer.
And Bree's gonna have free pizza, and she's gonna buy beers for everybody during her set. So she's the unlimited stars. I mean, her and her bandmates are the unlimited stars. And then I forget, like Noella, Grace, and the feminine. I forget the name, but yeah. Come to that. Be there.
Plug it up.
That's where I be. That's where she be. Okay, thank you. I love you. Bye.
Thank you, sweet, sweet Discord babes, for joining us, chatting. Here we are.
Be your own king. Be your own king. That's
Let's
Kendrick Lamar.
Just fuck it up. I want everybody to go out there and fuck it up right now. And then I want you to tell me how you fucked it up today. I want to hear about it.
We do. Oh, should we talk about the pickle?
Oh, we're doing the pickle. Wait, Full Metal. Come back. Wait. Don't press it. No, stop. No. Don't press it. Although our camera's frozen, we're like, well, I guess that one's still rolling. Hopefully. Yeah. What are we filming? We're filming the pickle shit tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna do the pickle Scotch egg corn dog thing.
We're gonna film it tomorrow, but if you can get it to us. Well, how long does it take you? 2 weeks to edit the episode? Because we could film us reviewing and watching people's pickle videos.
Oh yeah, for some reason it just occurred to me that it was gonna be a Rubbish Cook episode.
Oh wait, is it not? It doesn't have to be.
I think it should be something separate, but I'll still edit it and make it cool. Yeah.
So this will be a MAWPOD
Yes.
cooking episode.
Yeah, featuring Rubbish Cook and Whitney Does.
Featuring Rubbish Cook and Whitney Does, where we come together on a pickle dog and then we watch your guys' making of a pickle dog. We come together on
a pickle dog.
The pickle dog with mustard aioli.
It's gonna be dorp.
Dude, that shit smells so good.
Yeah, I was just smelling it.
Well, all right, that's time.
All right.
Get your pickles and pickle dogs in the queue. See y'all later.
Peace.